Millennial Pause. Welcome to Weekly Wisdom for July the 7th, 2025, Monday. Oh, I forgot my thank you book. Sorry to get so close. My thank you for today. I am thankful to God for the gift of singing. I can't say the word singing, but maybe I can sing the word singing. I like to sing. I was singing this morning, so I thank God for the gift of singing. I like to fill my life with song. So that was July the 7th. And the good thing about keeping this for the last 2 months, I can go back to June the 7th and see what I thank God for. I'm thankful to God for the gift of the tools that I use to put the pavers down in my under my trash cans and grill. I use some tools to do that, and I'm thankful for that day. And it's a reminder of the past as well. And these things become part of me as I review them. And May the 7th, I am thankful to God for the gifted, that I am gifted enough to make good, healthy meals. I take care of myself pretty good cooking-wise, and I didn't think I ever could do that. But I have learned to do that, and I'm very grateful to God for that gift. Now, back to our regularly scheduled program, our weekly wisdom. Our verse of the day, I'm going to read two of them, Psalms 34, 15, which I wrote down yesterday. The eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their cry. So the Lord is watching those who do right, and he hears us when we cry out. You say, well, I'm not righteous. Well, Abraham believed God, and it was credited to him as righteousness. So we believe God, and we do right as we believe him, and we get the credit because of who God is. And today's verse of the day, Psalms 34:16, but the face of the Lord is against those who do evil, to blot out their name from the earth. So if we do evil, God is against us. God, he just doesn't tolerate that. This is a psalm. We're not talking about, casting you into the lake of fire forever, but he's opposed to evil. He's opposed to the evil things we do because it corrupts us and it corrupts the people around us and our souls, and his face is against that, and he blots that out. This is from The Hidden Place, a book by Joel, I'm going to spell it Muddamalle. Muddamalle. I don't know how to say his name. But it's a really good book called The Hidden Place. He says to exercise faith. When the whole world is falling apart and there is nothing you can do about it, take a deep breath. Lift your eyes to the sky. See the clouds are still floating. See the sun is still shining. Oxygen is still present in your lungs. Let your lack of control, let my lack of control, let your lack of control draw us to the one who is in control. The sun's still there. The clouds are still there. You're still breathing. Even though we don't have a control over the situation, let our lack of control be the trigger to push us to the one who has control. Acts 16:27, again from The Hidden Place. God did this so that they would seek him and perhaps reach out for him and find him, though he is not far from any of us. And Joel talks about the term reach for us means to feel around for. It was for a person who was blind or who was in total darkness at night. There was no street lights and things of that nature. They were feeling for a way out, or feeling for their home, or feeling around in their home, reaching out. You can't see, but you're still reaching out. So in a desperate need, when have a lack of control, even in those times, God is near. We can reach out. He put us at this place and time that we would reach out for him and find him. So no matter what you're going through, keep reaching out. You say, well, I can't see, I'm struggling, I'm broken. We'll keep reaching out, and you will find him, because he promises not to be far from us. And another quote, Joel quoted Teresa of Avila. Some friends of mine are big fans of Teresa of Avila. Let us not trouble about our fears, lose heart of our frailty, but let us strive to fortify humility and be convinced of how little we can do for ourselves. For without the grace of God, we are nothing. Confide in his mercy. Distrust our own strength, because when we trust in our own strength, that is the root of our weakness. So I'm trying to trust in God. When I trust in myself, I end up very, very weak. But I'm trying to become strong, because when I am weak in his name, then I am strong. You might hear my dog tap dancing in the background. So, June the 7th, if I can find it. June the 7th. Mark chapter 4, verse 41. Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him. We believe Jesus is even over the wind and the waves. Next quote, believers are free from sin, even if they are not completely free of sin. And I like that quote. I don't remember what book it was in. I'd have to go back and look, but I won't do it right now. It's probably on a page or two back. If you are a believer, you've been set free from sin. Sin is no longer your master. And in the book that I read, it talked a lot about our spirit versus our flesh. We're still in the flesh. We're still human. We're still in a world that it causes sin. It has the systems of sin. So we're not completely free of sin, but we are completely free from sin to follow after God's Spirit. It takes some time, it takes discipline, it takes being led by God's Spirit, but we are free to do this. May the 7th. May the 7th be with you. Here's a quote. Everything that we have is on loan. Everything that we have is on loan. Me and Elizabeth, we cleaned the basement today, walking down memory lane, and just saw some of the things that had over the years. And it's just a reminder that everything that we have is here for a while and then gone. It's been loaned to us to use as good stewards, entrusted to us, but it is all on loan. This is from a book called Gratitude Works by Robert Emmons. He interviewed a man who had been on death row for 30 years, who had become a believer. And the gentleman said, expect nothing, appreciate everything. So he knew he wasn't going to receive too much. And there are times in our life when we know we're not going to receive too much. He didn't expect anything being on death row, even though he had become a believer. But every day, every week, every month, he appreciated everything. April the 7th. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, I went back too far. April the 7th, here we go. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Philippians 4:13. Paul wrote this from the confines of a prison cell. He didn't write it in the lap of luxury. He was in prison when he wrote this letter to Philippi. And in that prison cell, he said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It has nothing to do with achievement. That verse gets put on t-shirts and Christian pictures and plaques and things of that nature. But it's not about becoming a success in life and climbing the corporate ladder or any of those things. It is about contentment, no matter the situation. Jesus, speaking to blind Bartimaeus, said, "What do you want me to do for you, Bartimaeus?" It was pretty obvious what Bartimaeus needed. He needed his sight. He was a blind beggar and he needed to see. But Jesus still asked him, "What do you want me to do for you?" Why did he do that? Because Bartimaeus was not a problem to be dealt with, but he was a person to be engaged. His problem was obvious. He was blind, but Jesus engaged him as a person. The people in our lives, even though they may have a lot of problems, you may have a lot of problems, I have a lot of problems. People in our lives are not problems to just be dealt with. They're people that we engage with and love. God just doesn't deal with our problems. He engages with us as he helps deal with our problems and helps us to deal with our problems. March the 7th. I'll give you a quote from a television show, Daredevil, Matt Murdock, the blind superhero with all the enhanced abilities. He said after everything was lost and broken, his friend had died and everything was falling apart, he said, "I refuse to believe that a tragedy has to destroy everything." And I'm trying to believe that as well, that a tragedy has to destroy everything. This is by an author named Jacques Philippe. He's French, and his books are written in French. I didn't read it in French, though. They translated into English. I do recommend him. He's brilliant. Jacques Philippe. It's called Interior Freedom. He wrote, "Thank God for my past. I firmly believe that God can draw good out of everything that I have been through. So today I begin with zero, not holding on to the past. I begin with zero, trusting him." Jacques Philippe said, "It is better to accept things as they come, trusting we will have the grace to deal with them, than to invent scenarios that may or may not happen." I do that all the time. I think of every scenario. What would happen if this happens? What would happen if this happens? And it's one of the things that I've struggled with my entire life so far, and who knows, maybe the rest of my life. But I'm trying, by the grace of God, just accept things as they come and trust that God will give me the grace to deal with them, and I don't have to imagine, what if this happens and what if this happens? Even when things go badly for me, I shall still find life good and worth living, Jacques Philippe said. And this is the last quote from him. "We may spend our whole lives waiting to live, not fully accepting the reality of our lives. Yet there is no guarantee we won't be disappointed about the thing that we are waiting on. I'll be happy when I get this job. I'll be happy when when I start feeling this way. I'll be happy with this relationship. I'll be happy when my kids. I'll be happy when my grandkids do this, and I'll be happy when this happens. But there's no guarantee that those things will make us happy, and there's no guarantee that those things will ever happen. So we have to learn. I have to learn to be content. Stop waiting to live, and live today." February 7th. Here we go. By Anne Voskamp. I like her too. Never be afraid of being a broken thing. Never be afraid of being a broken thing. Broken in our lives because of life. Don't be afraid of that you're going through struggles and that you feel broken. There's a song quote that says, it's the broken places, the cracked places, that's how the light gets in. So the breaking places in our lives is where God's light can just seep through. And finally, January 7th. I believe I just wrote down one Bible verse for that day, and I did. Lamentations 3:22 through 23. Jeremiah, in the midst of a devastated Jerusalem, just sitting in ruins. Even in that situation, he says, because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. Let it be so, let it be so, let it be so. Lord, have mercy. Christ, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. God bless you. Go in peace.